Open heart, open mind. Welcome to the Satwa Project, Satwa channel, the official online platform of the Satwa Project. Hello everyone, I'm Hansi from Malaysia, and this is Shamisha.
Hello, I'm Samiksha, and we both are from the Sattva Youth, bringing Dharma to you and bridging Dharma with youth. The Sattva Youth is a Buddhist youth program initiated by the Sattva Project.
First of all, on behalf of the Satwa Project, I would like to express our thankfulness to our StreamYard sponsor and media partners, Durian Asian and Durian FM. And not to forget also the important man behind the scene, our broadcast director, Brother Chong. Thank you very much for your generous contribution and kind efforts. Hi, Brother Chong. Would you like to say hi to everyone?
Hi everyone, welcome to our session. Hopefully you find our session today helpful. And please do like and share so that more people can benefit. And for the audience who'll be watching later on YouTube, also please like and subscribe. Now back to you guys. Thank you.
Today, we are going to have a very meaningful and beneficial Zen meditation session guided by Myong An Sunim. Our today's topic entitled Wake Up and Just Do It, which is the part of our series called Meditation for World Peace and Global Healing. Sitting quietly at home, spreading love and kindness all around the globe.
Now, let me give a brief introduction about Myong An Sunim. Myong An Sunim Titopusa is a Zen monk from the Kwan Yom School of Zen. Sunim was born to a Chinese family in Malaysia in 1959. He received his education in UK, culminating with an MBA and work in finance. Myong An Sunim began his meditation practice in 1992 after meeting his teacher Zen master Songsan in Hong Kong. He was ordained as a monk in 1997 and spent the next 16 years in Korea doing intensive meditation retreats. He received Inca, the authorization to teach Kongans and lead retreats from two Zen masters in 2015. Sunim has over 30,000 hours of meditation experience, teaches mindfulness and Zen in Penang and internationally. His teaching approach combines the wisdom of the ancient teachers with the science of meditation to arrive at ways of practice that are suitable to our modern lifestyle. Now I will back to you, Shamisha Misham.
The outline of our today's session will be as follows. Our session will begin with a short introductory talk, then we will meditate or sit together, then we will have some questions and answers, and then we will wind up the session with a dedication prayer. Dear Dharma friends and fellow Sattvas, let me present to you a session Wake Up and Just Do It with Myong An Sunim. Let us all welcome Myong An Sunim. Please.
Hi, good evening, and thank you for the very kind introduction. Happy Father's Day to all of you who are fathers, and actually for everyone. So tonight we're going to do some Zen meditation, and actually, if you don't mind, I would like to start with the meditation practice because I find that it helps to settle us and bring our minds to, more grounded, more peaceful, rather than to start with a lot of talking. But tonight's meditation, what I'd like to bring up for you is this recognition that we are actually doing mini meditations many times. So what does that actually mean? When you sit, whether you're going to sit for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, more, what happens is that as you practice, your mind will wander off very, very soon. In fact, based on a Harvard research study done a few years ago, they found that our minds wander off almost 50% of the time. Okay, that might sound very unusual, but actually, if you start meditating, you'll notice your mind is always running off. It's very unusual for you to be able to stay focused or aware of your breath for an extended period of time. So when your mind goes off, then the instruction is to let go of whatever is occupying your mind when you realize it, when you notice it, and then come back to the practice. So that's the start of another mini meditation. Then you pay attention to your breath. Then pretty soon your mind goes off again. Then when you notice it, you come back. So that's another mini meditation. So actually, your whole meditation practice of, say, 1 hour is not just one continuous meditation where you are aware of your breath for the whole hour. It's made out of many, 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 many short meditations where you keep coming back to your breath, coming back to the present moment. So that is what I would say. That's why I say your meditation is made of many, many meditations, or micro meditations even, because you're always starting again, start coming back, starting, coming back, starting, coming back, starting, and paying attention. Then your mind goes off, then come back, come back, come back. So each one of those is a mini meditation, as you like to call it. So with that realization, then you can meditate anytime during the day. You can take 1 minute during your busy day and just do a mini meditation, because that's exactly what you're doing in a longer meditation. You're paying attention to your breath, your mind wanders off, you notice it, you come back. And then you can stay on it for a while, then it runs off again, then you come back. So that's the whole practice. The practice is to be aware that we are not paying attention to what we want to pay attention to, which is our breath, and then bring ourselves back to it. So the very act of noticing that our mind is wandering is part of the practice. So with that in mind, I'd like to start our meditation. So I invite you to sit upright, comfortably. If you're sitting in a chair, put both feet on the floor. Back straight, but relaxed. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. And if you prefer to keep them open, just open them slightly, gazing down. And for the next few breaths, just allow yourself to settle in to the sensation of sitting. Aware of your feet on the floor, your bum on the chair. Aware of your breath. So where is it that you notice your breath the most? Is it your lower belly or your chest or your nostrils? Wherever it is, just allow your awareness to rest there. Feeling the sensation of breathing. Not thinking about how it feels, not putting any labels on it, but just directly experiencing the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. And there's no need to control your breath in any way. Your body knows how to breathe. There is no wrong way to breathe. Pretty soon, your mind will wander off and get caught up in thoughts, feelings. If that happens, don't worry about it at all. It's perfectly normal. That's what happens to our minds. So when you notice, then gently let your thoughts rest and come back to feeling your breath again. Do that as many times as you need to. And try not to judge yourself or hold yourself to any kinds of expectations about how you should meditate or how you shouldn't meditate. Just come back to your breath. Can you feel your breath? Just feel it. Now, occasionally, you can drop in the question, and this is part of Zen practice. Just ask yourself, what is this? And all you have to do is just ask this question. You don't have to try to answer it. And You don't have to try to figure it out or think about it. Just ask the question and let it just sink in. It's like you might be dropping something into a pool. What is this? Just keep coming back to your breath whenever your mind wanders off. Whenever you're aware of your breath, you're already present. You're here right now. Feel your breath coming in and feel your breath going out. Now, when you're ready, start to open your eyes and start to be aware of the room and your surroundings. Feel free to stretch your arms and legs to move around. And thank you for your practice. Okay, so that was a, a very short, not very short, but shortish meditation practice. And I hope that you can take this idea of mini meditations into your daily lives. You can think of it as 3M, kind of like that big American company, 3M. Mini meditations many times. So every minute of meditation actually does count. And if you do 10 1-minute meditations, that's 10 minutes a day. You can spread it out throughout the day if you want to. And it's very easy to do. And it's very easy to say, okay, I'll do 1 minute. But it's harder to say, okay, I'll clear 10 or 15 minutes from my schedule to do meditation. But anybody can find a minute anywhere. So if you can think of these, the practice as like 1-minute meditations, then you can get into the habit. So it's very easy to do. The most difficult thing, and this is what I found also, is remembering to do it. So you might want to give yourself some cues on doing it, like maybe when your messages ping on your smartphone, then you just do a minute before you reply, things like that. So I hope you give it a try and see how it works for you in your daily life. Okay. So I see we have some questions. Is that right, moderators?
Um, Thank you very much, Myong An Sunim, for such a wonderful and enlightened session. We really enjoyed it and hope our audience would have enjoyed it too. Yeah, we have some questions.
Yes, we have a questions. The first question is how to encourage and attract young people to do Zen meditation or simply to meditate for work, peace, and global healings. Yes, I pass to Sunim.
Okay, that's a very good question. So everybody wants peace and healing in their lives, and it's not only for young people. I don't think it's actually for all of us. So if you are a parent, if you have a small child, how do they learn? How do children learn? They follow what their parents do. It's just like they they have no other role model except for the father and mother usually when they're young. So whatever their parents do, they'll do. So if their parents kind of are very kind and very considerate towards each other, that's what they'll learn. If the parents are shouting at each other all the time and you know using rude words, that's what they'll learn because that is what uh, is part of the learning process. The parents are the role models. So if you want other people to follow what you do, or you would like to encourage them to practice, then we all have to be role models for that, so that people can follow. It's not so much by our speech that we can encourage others, it's actually through our actions. So it's very uh, clear for me when I observe my teacher. I mean, he used to say a lot of great things, but what I could see was that his speech and action were one. You know, there are many people who can give really good talks. Okay, like you listen and it's like you can't imagine anybody being able to sort of talk so well about anything, the Dharma, whatever. But then their actions may not be quite the same. It's like going to a lecture, you know. I used to listen to some lectures and it used to inspire me. But then what they said and what they did were like this. Your speech is going east, but your action goes west. So then you can't really believe that person. So your actions and words need to match. So if you want to encourage young people, uh, in fact, anybody to practice, not just Zen meditation, just practice being kind to each other. Then do that. Then you have to practice being kind yourself, being kind to other people. You know, that's actually the important thing, like the Dalai Lama said. My religion is kindness. It doesn't matter. You know, we call it Zen. That's just a name. But what do you actually do in practice in your life as a human being? We talk about world peace, but what does that really mean to you? Do you have a peaceful mind? Do you have a peace? Are you at peace with your own mind and body? At peace with your own family? your partners, your children, your friends, your colleagues, your community. So when we want to encourage peace, it starts with us. It always starts with us. We can't just say, you do what I tell you, not what I do. Often that's what a lot of parents sometimes do. They tell their kids to do one thing and they're doing another thing. Then it's a mixed message for the children. So for us to encourage others to be peaceful and also to practice meditation, Zen or any other kind of practice, we have to do it ourselves. And if you want to teach it, you better damn well practice yourself, because if you don't practice and you try to teach something that you don't practice, pretty soon everybody will see through you.
True.
Okay, thanks, Sunim. Sunim, what do you mean by wake up and just do it?
Wake up and just do it? What are you doing right now?
Listening to Sunim talking about the Zen.
Exactly. You're already awake and just doing it. That's all.
Okay.
Not complicated. Just do it in this moment. Whatever you're doing in this moment, whatever you're doing, just do it. Okay? So it means being present. It means being aware. And when you're present and aware, you're alive in this moment. Most of the time, our body is in this moment. Our body cannot be anywhere else. It cannot be in the past or the future. It's always here right now. But our mind is very rarely here. It's future, past, thinking all kinds of rubbish, So then we're not here. But if you're here, like when you said, I'm just listening to you, that's very, very clear. That's very present. That's exactly what you're doing. You don't have to do more. That's exactly all there is to it. But most of us can't believe it. Okay? So wake up and just do it means this moment, whatever you're doing, just do it.
Okay. Thanks, Sunim, for your answer. Yeah, we have the next question. Okay. Many different situations or life events can cause stress. So it is often triggers when we experience something new, unexpected, or that threatens our sense of self, or we feel we have little control over a situation. So how should we cope with the stress and anxiety?
That's a very good question. Actually, many of us, I think almost all of us experience stress and anxiety in our lives. It's not that it's big stress or big anxiety, but at any time, like maybe you have to give a speech to a big group of people, and you're just about to give a speech, then you experience anxiety and stress. Or your boss called you to his or her room, and you don't know what it's about, then you're also anxious, a bit stressed. So we all experience that during our lives, but some people experience it to a more stronger level, where it becomes kind of suffering for them. Their anxiety and their stress is at a very, very high level. So then it becomes like almost paralyzing. So one thing that we have to understand is that stress and anxiety is part of our human response for survival. Okay? So when we were, like a few 100,000 years ago, when we were living in caves, when we hear the sound of something at night, maybe sound of animal or sound of the bushes rustling, we usually would run into the cave. Okay, that response is called the fight, flight, or freeze response. And that that response, is controlled by a part of our brain. In layman's terms, it's called the reptilian brain. The medical term for that is the amygdala, and it's a very primitive brain. Or that's why it's called reptilian. Reptile snakes, from snakes upwards, have it. So what it does is that it responds very, very fast to keep us alive. So you hear something, or maybe at night you go walking in the garden, and suddenly you see something black. It's like shaped like a wavy thing. Then you jump back because it looks like a snake. You don't have time to think. You don't actually have time. You don't actually think. You jump. You react first. Then maybe you switch on the light. Then you see, oh, it's just garden hose. But that can be life-saving because it could be an actual snake. It could be a black cobra. And you switch on the light and you see a black cobra. Then, oh, I responded. You don't have. The thing about the reptilian brain and our stress response is that it bypasses our thinking. Okay, so we have to understand that. That's part of our biology. We don't have time to think. We are the modern humans. Our kind of species of humans, Homo sapiens, is about 200,000 years old. Before that, we were kind of Neanderthal. So the thing that differentiates us from the Neanderthals is that we have this frontal part of the brain. We call it, sorry, it's getting a bit technical, prefrontal cortex. This is what enables us to think, and it enables us to kind of experience, to imagine the future and imagine the past. Okay, that's what happens here. So when we think, if I mix coffee with tea, how would it taste? Or if I put salt in a coffee, how would it taste? You can imagine it. Animals cannot. But this part of the brain where it's part of the cognition basically goes offline when you are experiencing stress and anxiety. That's why you can't say, stop being so anxious. I want to be, because basically your human response is try to save your reptile brain is actually thinking that you're in danger. So that's why you're experiencing stress and anxiety. So it is trying to get you out of danger. And getting out of danger doesn't require thinking. Running away doesn't require thinking. Freezing also doesn't really require thinking. So basically, that's why we can't think ourselves out of a stressful or anxious situation. So what we have to do is to bring ourselves back, bring our kind of cognitive brain back. So that means trying to ground ourselves using our breath. So there are many techniques on how we can learn to address anxiety and stress. And some of the techniques, in fact, I think the more effective techniques are the ones which involve mindfulness. Okay, but I can't really explain everything in a short lesson. I did a series of talks on anxiety just recently, a few weeks ago. So check it out, please. But basically what it means is being aware of your thoughts, being curious about them, and also using breathing techniques to help you calm down. Because when you are anxious and stressed, your adrenaline is flowing, you're breathing like fast because you're ready to fight or you're ready to run. Okay? Even though you may not be in danger. But our brain cannot tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. Our primitive brain cannot tell the difference. So you can think. You can imagine, actually you can do this as a test after the talk. Just imagine something that happened to you in the past that's very scary. Immediately you start, because that's what happens. The brain thinks that I'm under stress. I'm in danger. So your brain cannot tell the difference between an imagined threat and a real threat. So what we have to do is to hack it, hack our body, hack our brain, using our breath, using mindfulness to bring ourselves back to ground ourselves and realize, tell our brain, oh, it's okay, we can relax. Okay, so certain techniques, breathing, mindfulness, curiosity, and awareness of how this whole process works. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Sunim.
Sorry for a bit long.
All right. We have one more question.
Okay.
Uh, would you be able to share a short koan with us today?
Um, yeah, sure. Short koan. Okay. A very, very simple one, and one that is used in many, many traditions, in fact. And it is about a Zen master, Zhou, that's Korean. I think Chinese, he's a Chinese Zen master. So Chinese name is Zhao Zhou. So the Kong'an is like this. So for those of you who don't know what a Kong'an is, it's like a question, a case study. When you go to business school, or you go to, I don't know, other courses also, they give you case studies to study, and then there's some questions, right? So a koan is also like a case study. It's usually a record of something that happened in the past, and then this is taken and used as a teaching device, is a teaching tool. So in this case, it is an interaction between Zen master Joju and a monk in his temple. So this monk came up to him and asked him, does a dog have Buddha nature? Okay. Very simple question. Does a dog have Buddha nature? And then Zen master Joju said, mu, or no. Mu means no. Uh, Chinese, I think it's wu. So no. And that's it. That's the end of the record. Then the questions that follow, using this situation as a teaching device is this. First question. Let's say just take one question. Does a dog have Buddha nature? Zen Master Jodo said, mu, but does a dog have Buddha nature? So that's what you have to answer in an interview situation. So this is not a public thing where you discuss. So you go into an interview with a Zen teacher, and then you get presented with this situation, and you get asked this question. Then you have to give it a go and try and answer it. And any answer is fine. Whether it's right or wrong doesn't really matter. You're not trying to pass a test, but the whole point of the Kong'an is for you to experience a sense of not knowing. Okay, because all our lives we've been actually taught or trained to understand and to know something. So to give answers, if you can't give an answer, somebody thinks you're stupid, right? I used to feel like, because I could never figure out stuff, and I couldn't answer anything usually. And when you can't answer anything, you don't say anything. Then nobody knows you're stupid, right? But then in this situation, it's completely different. That if you don't know, that's fine, because we're not trying to get to your thinking side, your analytical side. We're actually trying to see if you can experience this sense of not knowing. Like the Christian mystic called it the cloud of unknowing. Some people call it like Pema Chodron, the famous Tibetan teacher, calls it groundlessness. There's no ground to stand on. In Zen tradition, we should say not knowing or don't know, but they all mean the same thing. This sense, this experience of actually not knowing, then that gives you a taste of what we say don't know. So that's what the point of Kongan is, not to get an answer. Because once you have an answer to a Kongan, that Kongan is actually Koan. I say Kongan because that's how we say it in Korean. The Koan is actually useless. You finished, that's it. You can throw it away. Okay, you don't need it anymore. So the whole point of the Koan is to try to encourage you to experience this not knowing. Okay, so does a dog have Buddha nature? That's all. If you have a good answer, please PM me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. It was really good answer for that. Again, we have one more question.
Okay, sure.
So let me read it for you. When we are aware that we are drifting
Okay.
away or about to drift away or trying to bring ourselves back is also a present moment of knowing. What do you think about this?
That's an interesting question. When we are aware that we're drifting away or about to drift away or trying to bring ourselves back is also a present. So when you feel your breath or when you're aware of your body or your breath, that's when you're present. Okay? Because that's why we actually, in many different meditation techniques, we use the breath or body sensations, or sometimes it's being aware of sounds, because all those are rooted in the present moment. Okay? So when you're aware of that, when you feel your breath, like maybe you're breathing, you're feeling your breath at the nostrils, and you feel the sensation of the air going in and out, then you're present. If you feel your lower belly, you can feel the rising and falling, you're present. Or maybe you can hear, if you're using sound meditation, then you're hearing the sound of maybe traffic or birds or even the aircon, then you're present. So that's when you're present. So everything else on top of that is a kind of thinking. Okay, so you may be thinking about things. You may be kind of like, maybe you're aware you're drifting away, but are you aware of your breath at that time? So if you are aware of your breath, aware of your body, if you are, then you're present. If you're not, then maybe not. Okay, so it's not really that, I would say, that complicated. All you have to do is just feel your breath or feel your body. We can use many aspects of our physical body to anchor us in the present moment. Sometimes if the breath seems a little difficult, then use the sensation of the feet on the ground. That's also very, very helpful. Or maybe your bum on the cushion. When you can feel something, you're present. When you're not, your mind is drifting off, usually you're not aware of it anymore. So that's all you need to do. And then just practice with that. So the whole point is not to think about the experience, but actually to try to directly experience it. Not how do I feel? How do I how's my breath feeling, or how do my feet feel against the floor? Not that. Just feel it. Just completely feel it. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Sunim.
Makes
We have a
sense?
last question. Yeah, so the last question is, can Sunim share with us the origin of Zen and also some Zen stories to enlighten us? Yeah, Sunim, please.
The origin of Zen. Well, you know where the word Zen comes from. I mean, Zen is a Japanese pronunciation of the word, the Chinese character Chan, right? Uh, and that Chan comes from the Sanskrit dhyana, which actually means meditation. Okay. So that's why in English it's kind of little misleading because we say, oh, well, I'm practicing Zen meditation. But if you look at it in the like in Chinese, for example, we usually say, how do you say, 坐禅, sit Zen, yeah, yeah. Or in Korean we say chamson. It also means sit Zen. So actually, sit Zen means sit meditation, sitting meditation. So there is a little mistranslation in our English, the way that we approach it in English. We say Zen meditation. And when you say Zen meditation, you actually say meditation. Okay? So Zen is meditation. That's all it is. The kind of, I guess, the reason why we think of it as different is because the way that it was approached when it first went to China from Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma was the 28th patriarch from the Buddha, down from the Buddha, and he took meditation to China, and then that's where it developed into this form of practice, this practice of like directly asking the question, what is this? So, but actually it's meditation. So it basically started even before the Buddha's time, because he was taught meditation by his teachers. And meditation is what? Meditation is paying attention with intention, without judgment, expectations, and with a sense of openness and curiosity. That's all it is. So it is not special, but it is very, very helpful for our daily lives. So that's really what uh, Zen is. That's really what meditation is. I mean, we now have this whole kind of thing built up around what is Zen, but actually all it is meditation. Okay, so yeah, actually it's very simple. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think we have finished with our questions. Actually, we are running
Okay.
out of our time. So now,
Okay.
behalf of everyone, I would like to invite you to please lead us in a dedication prayer,
Okay.
and then we will
So we're
finish
just
this,
going to
conclude the
figure it
session.
out. Things are numberless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it. So may all beings be happy and safe and well. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight and for watching. you continue to watch and enjoy all the Dharma that's being shared by the Sattva project. Thank you for all those people working behind the scenes and to our two moderators tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us with this session. Please like and subscribe the Sattva channel and be updated with the coming events. Stay safe, stay happy, and see you next time with some new sessions, new talk series. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night.